Ranger!
Hi-yo, Silver!
A fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty hi-ho Silver, the Lone Ranger! It was dusk when the Lone Ranger and Tonto rode along a back street and stopped at the sheriff's office at Eagle Pass. The masked man identified himself to the sheriff, then convinced him that they were in danger of a flood within a short time. The sheriff, with a worried expression on his face, asked,
Great day, mister. What do we do? What do you suggest?
I suggest the women and children be sent to higher ground in all available wagons. Then the men must build a dike of sandbags along the river bank bordering the town. Above and below the town, the canyon walls are high enough to retain the flood waters.
Good idea. The riverbank is low on it where it borders the town. A sandbag dike should keep us from being flooded out.
And someone should be sent to warn the people of Laredo.
I'll send a deputy to warn them. Let's go talk to the folks down by the river.
Right.
Most of the citizens of the town were lined along the riverbank, watching the turbulent waters.
Water.
Oh, look at all that water.
What about my chickens?
Stop, you bloody horses!
Stop, you horses!
Hey, look! The sheriff with a masked man and an engine.
I heard indigenous people.
Yeah, I did think I read that somewhere.
Well, I think they prefer Native Americans.
Now listen, everybody. These are our friends. Friends? You can take my word for that. They came here to warn us of danger.
What danger?
I'll let the masked man tell you that. Listen to what he has to say.
Rabble.
Man,
Save the chickens!
there's no time to lose. The water will rise much higher. There's danger of a flood here at Eagle Pass and south of here too.
Last time them did this, it was red.
The rain stopped, missus. Water will be going down before long.
The water will drain from the hills. The flood crest will come later, I'm sure of it. We must take the women and children to high ground and build a levee of sandbags. We must act now, or it'll be too late.
Hey, look! Look up the river! Big wave moving down this way!
Oh, Toby, we're gonna get wet.
The first flood crest, and it'll be followed by a bigger one. Hurry, get the women and children out of town. Eagle Rock may soon be under...
My chickens can't run.
I'm getting out of here!
Going back to India.
The skepticism of the crowd vanished when they saw the threatening crest of water moving down toward them. The first crest passed, leaving the water lapping over the top of the riverbank. The Lone Ranger averted panic by putting men to work evacuating the women and children and filling sandbags for a levee. A line of wagons left the town and headed toward the hills. The men who stayed behind worked frantically to build a retaining wall of sandbags along the low section of the riverbank before the expected large flood crest arrived.
Sheriff? I met many men in my life, but he's the finest and most understanding I've ever met. Who is he?
I thought you knew by this time, Doc. He's an hombre who always puts his country and other people first, regardless of the risk. You see, he's the Lone Ranger.
Hi-yo, Silver! Oh!
That was The Lone Ranger, a doctor's story performed by Those Were the Days Radio Players West. The cast featured C.A. Corl as the Lone Ranger, Wesley Corwin as Dr. Frank Rockford, Dominic Akins as the Sheriff. I'm Bilbo Baggins. This has been a Those Were the Days Radio Players West production. Thank you for tuning in.